I do not have more information. that falls into the spoiler top secret classified category. I don't think we have that total with us here today, but we have a pretty. There's a comparable number of maps that we've had in the past for uniquely for firefight and multiplayer. They're all pulled from different parts of the campaign, and each one's kind of special and unique. We'll have big maps, we'll have symmetrical maps, we'll have asymmetrical maps, and then of course we have Forge World, and I think we'll have about probably 5 maps that are just built in Forge World alone, like Ascension Remake, for example, Blood Gulch. We have Sanctuary as well that we've been able to recreate. So those are all in addition to sort of the other more fictional-based maps in multiplayer that we have both in the campaign.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but you can customize Firefight. I'm not sure if you looked at some of those options, but customization in Firefight is actually really cool and really versatile. You can create a lot of different game modes. And in addition, like the generated defense, in which you actually have objectives in which you defend against. And just within the studio, we have a lot of people experimenting with different options. And even one of my favorite modes that we haven't even shown is just a custom mode somebody came up with that work was a single-player generated defense mode that was actually quite brilliant and was fun just to play by yourself. So we're really excited to see what people come up with using that.
Play Rocket Fight or Apocalypse, those are just custom modes that we made at the office, and you can do the exact same thing. You can name it, put a description, put it in your file share
to the community.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
And tag it on VNet, tag it in the game, and then hopefully when people make awesome things that work well, we'll be able to start to add those back into matchmaking as well, and just have a whole variety of different firefight game experiences, and some of them can be radically different. I mean, once you start playing with things like movement speed and weapon damage and shields and enemy types, it definitely starts to become a very different experience. There's definitely not going to be any kind of regret or remorse. The team is excited that we've come this far. Halo's exceeded our expectations. It's bigger than we ever thought it was going to be as a studio, and it's just not only is it a testament to the interesting universe and sort of how rich it is and how much it's captivated fans, but it's how awesome our community is. And we wouldn't be here without having such strong fan support that have really helped build Halo into what it is today. So I think it's going to be a celebration. I think we're going to have one hell of a party on September 14th, and it's going to be a time just to celebrate the past 10 years and be grateful of all the success we've had and be happy knowing that our last game is certainly going to be the best Halo game yet. And once that party wears off, I guess it's time to come back to work and start working on other stuff. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. We definitely view it as, with being our last Halo game, and we've had such a great relationship with our community through all these years, certainly things like the return of Blood Gulch and making the pistol sort of feel like the Halo pistol. There's a lot of fan service that we always think about, and I don't want to sound like it's literally we're wrapping this up and giving it as a gift, but we put a lot of special things in there that we hope our fans would appreciate, and they've inspired us to want to do that, and it's a little way of saying thanks. And now we're not going to be the developers of Reach anymore. Somehow, in some ways, our fans will become the developers of Reach because we're giving them so many tools to start to build new game types. And I look forward to playing what you guys come up with next year. When what's the next grip ball going to be? What's the next SWAT going to be? That's the stuff that's going to be pretty exciting for us to watch as it unfolds and what's ahead. The space combat mission is actually just one mission of the campaign. There isn't actually a firefight component to it nor a versus component, but it's pretty awesome. It's a huge part of that mission. It's different. It's an experience that you haven't had before in Halo, and you can play it with 4 people cooperatively, and each person will be able to drive their own spaceship around and I think fight upwards of 20 or so ships at a time in these really epic, intense space battles. But you won't be able to do that through firefight or through the competitive. Yeah, some of the maps are nighttime, some of the maps are daytime. Between multiplayer and campaign in general, when some of these spaces are being revisited, they will be differentiated by things like time of day, things like fog, rain. So it's one way to help make the spaces feel a little different, but also still yet feel familiar. Well, I think whenever Griffball gets added to matchmaking, we're going to adopt whatever the official spec becomes for it. So there's a lot of people that love their Griffball, and if Griffball 2.0 decides that it's going to use sprint or jetpacks, then that's the way that we'll offer it. But loadouts can be customized. You can turn them off entirely if you want to. So it might just be that it's traditional Griffball. It might be that somebody makes some super Griffball where you have unlimited jetpacks and the whole thing takes place in the sky. We'll have to see. You guys, you build it. You tell us. In the arena, I'd say there's probably a slim to no chance of that happening. Arena is really meant to be sort of a hyper-competitive, super skill-based affair, and we tend to view Griffball as a little bit more of a fun party game. It's a little more unpredictable, it's a little more chaotic and random. So Arena is going to primarily be Team Slayer games because that's sort of the fairest, most balanced head-to-head competition to try and rate people across the board. For right now, our plan is to only have the Slayer games because honestly, once you start getting into the objective mode, it becomes very hard to start to. How do you really evaluate and rate players' skills in a game of a CTF? Is it more important to be the guy who defended? Is it more important to be the guy who scored? We think Slayer is sort of the purest form of Halo competitive play, and it's certainly the easiest in a head-to-head comparison of sort of just true skill, and that's why I don't think you'll see objective game modes make it into the arena, but keep in mind that we will have plenty of objective offerings in matchmaking, and even though they're not part of the arena seasons, they're still going to be based on skill matching. They're still going to be competitive. You're still going to be matching up against people that are going to be a good match for you and a challenge. Well, we're not talking about any of our DLC plans right now, but it's safe to say that there'll definitely be some content that comes out after launch, and we're going to have a team of people that's focusing on supporting the game and the community well after release. Yeah, we approached Reach certainly by looking back on all the Halo games that we've made and trying to carry forward all the best parts, whether it be competitive multiplayer, whether it be a great fun co-op experience, a deep story. So I really do think that Reach is the culmination of everything that's come before it, plus a whole lot of brand new experiences that no one's ever seen before in any Halo game. I'm not sure about that. Hey, Pascal? Pascal? I don't know. Is the Reach limited edition console, is that coming out in France?
Yes, we have more details on that when we get closer to the release of the game. But yes, it's going to be
cool.
limited.
All right. Well, we kind of got information in two ways from the Reach beta. Most of what we got was all automated. It was data mining, so every game that everyone played was uploaded to our servers, and we got a tremendous amount of information and data about people's connection speeds, how long it was taking to match, was our skill-based system working properly. All that stuff was really important just to make sure that the systems are working the way that we intended for them to work. But then the other way, obviously, is just through good old-fashioned fan feedback and forums. And a lot of people on our team spend a lot of time reading as many forum posts as possible and trying to draw out some key themes and sort of draw some conclusions. It was difficult because with millions of people, there's a lot of opinion. And sometimes just because one person is yelling about one thing, it doesn't mean that's what everybody else feels. So there's always that fine line. The more we have a relationship with our community, the harder it is to sort of find that balance between sort of giving them what they want and giving them the game that Bungie wants to make. So I think with the beta we managed to find a couple of key takeaways and consistent things that a lot of people collectively agreed upon, and we reacted to those versus listening to just the one person or the one group that was very loud about one thing.
Yeah, and within Bungie, there's also a lot of opinion. I mean, obviously, we're fans of the game as well, and there's all sorts of different opinions about what minor things we want to change, and what the results are, the effect of gameplay is of very, very small changes. So, in the end, like Ryan said, we listen to fans a lot, but we also are fans ourselves, and then we kind of just try to decide what is the best direction at the end.
Well, I think on behalf of our whole team, we would say merci. I mean, we really do appreciate all of our fans in all of our communities around the world. And I know, both Halo.fr and Halo Destiny have gotten really big, and you guys do a lot of awesome things over here. And I wish I could speak and read French so I had even more idea of what these things are, but I hear a lot about what you guys do. And I know Halo in France is more than just playing the game a month before the rest of the world. I know you guys are big fans over here, and we appreciate it. And we would not be here. Our team wouldn't be what it is today without your support and the support of all of our fans around the world. So yeah, really thank you guys, and do some great stuff with Forge. I expect good things from you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.